This entire lawsuit that Noshin Faraji has brought, the most important part of this is Joy said, if you believe the allegation, she said, if this goes left, I'm prepared to accuse Charles Dixon of assaulting me. This divine feminine shit has gotten out of hand. It's okay to sleep your way to the top. It's okay to predate. You be the old woman and go to college and find these young guys and get knocked up. It's okay to do all that. But when you actively tell people and say, hey, if this shit goes left, I got this Me Too ace card in my back pocket. Now it's a problem. Now you need to be put in cages. Now we need to bring in Sharia law. You know what? Let's get to Sharia law. This is what now it will never happen here, but this is what a lot of men are advocating because the women have gotten too out of control. Okay, let me find the Sharia law video. Y'all gonna see what real oppression looks like, right? For all these women that be out here, I'm not safe in the States. I don't feel safe in the US. I want to move somewhere. Okay, bitch. Okay. Okay, bitch. Let's get into what Sharia law is, because once again, you have to respond to the point where women, when they actively say, hey, if it goes left, I can just easily Me Too him and nobody's going to question it. It is a problem. That is when, okay, bitch, y'all doing too much. Now it's time to put y'all back in cages. Okay, let's get into it. Y'all gonna learn what Sharia law is tonight.
There was a time when Afghanistan was a modern state. Faith was a private matter. Burqas were optional. Women and men could travel together. Right next door, Iran was not far behind. It was at par with the Western world. Women could step out without a veil. Even
okay, wait. Can I say something real quick? Oh, these motherfuckers are bad. Woo, woo, she look good. Oh, man, look good. Woo. Okay, I'm sorry. Those are some good-looking women. Let's go.
Step out without a veil. Even meet men at public places. But the Iran and Afghanistan of today are a lot different. Today, hijab is mandatory. Western clothing is frowned upon. Clerics dictate societal norms. Religious police patrols the streets. Civil rights are all but non-existent. What happened in these countries? They came under the Sharia law. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay and I come to you with arguably the most controversial concept in the world, the concept of Sharia.
Okay.
It's back in the news after the Taliban took over Kabul. They plan to rule Afghanistan under the Sharia law, under the Taliban's version of the Sharia law. What does that mean? What will change in Afghanistan? What place does the Sharia have in this day and age? How many people in the world follow it? Why is it so controversial? Why does the world fear it will take Afghanistan further back in time? We've spoken to a lot of scholars and experts to put this report together. We'll try to answer all these questions, starting with the first question. What is the Sharia? To many, the word conjures horrors.
Wait. Y'all see that, right? Y'all see what's taking place under Sharia? You see this, right? Okay. I would love for y'all to leave the comforts and the safety of the US of A and then go out into the real world and then come back and tell us how safe you felt and protected and loved and cherished and respected and worshipped. Nobody worships y'all more than American men. And I'm talking all nationalities of American men. This is the only place you can go where women are worshipped. Outside of America, you're a problem. You're treated like, what does Cobra say? Sylvester Stallone, you're the disease and I'm the cure. That's how they treat women. That's how they look at women, like a disease. Okay, come on. To the point where they only view you as incubators for children. That's how they look at you. But let's continue.
Of hands being cut off, of adulterers being beaten, and women being oppressed.
Yeah. If you cheat on your husband, you get the cane to your back. Huh? If you cheat on your husband, you get the cane to your back. Come on.
And women being oppressed. In fact, no religious law has ever had worse press as the Sharia has in recent times. Why is that so?
Why?
Thanks to the misrepresentation, manipulation and misuse of the Sharia. By whom? Islamic regimes, politicians, clerics, radicals, terrorists. They've all used the Sharia to rule in the name of God. So coming back to the question, what is the Sharia? Well, there is no clear definition. Different people understand and apply the Sharia in different ways.
Okay,
but if
break
we
it down
put the
for us.
broad concepts together,
Break it
this
down
is
for
what
us.
a definition would sound like. The Sharia is Islam's legal and spiritual system, both divine and philosophical. Divine because it is said to be God's will for humankind.
Whew. The religion will get you jammed up every time. God forbid if you're on the wrong side of religion. It's all good when you're blessed and highly favored, like you Christians always claim, because somehow God deems you more special than everybody else. When y'all run around here talking about, I'm blessed and how you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored. Okay, cool. Okay. But on the other side of the world, right, in the real world, let's go.
Philosophical because it is based on the human understanding of what that divine will is. In Arabic, the Sharia translates to the clear, well-trodden path to water. The human interpretation of Sharia is called the fiqh, which literally means understanding. Now, these terms are used interchangeably, but they're not the same.
Okay.
Sharia is considered divine, permanent, infallible, but its understanding is human. It's a set of rules put together by Muslim scholars over the centuries. These rules have been drafted.
Basically, putting foot to your ass at the behest because Allah willed it. Because Allah has willed it. Huh? Because Allah wills it. Let's go.
And applied to suit those in power. Where do the rules come from? 3 sources: the Quran, which is Islam's holy book, the Sunnah, which is basically the deeds of Prophet Muhammad, and the Hadith, the sayings of the Prophet. There's a range of other sources to work out how God wants Muslims to live.
Okay.
But there is no single law book, no definite statute, no set judicial precedent to determine what the Sharia is. It's basically a vast collection of different, often conflicting interpretations. These interpretations gave birth to 5 schools of thought,
Okay.
5 legal schools of Sharia. And you must know this, there are different kinds of Sharia, you would say. Hanbali, Maliki, Shafi, Hanafi. These 4 belong to Sunni Islam. The 5th is a Shia version of Sharia. It's called Jafri. All 5 of them are...
Listen, there's nothing more sexy than an intelligent woman. An intelligent woman, a good-looking intelligent woman, trumps all. I'm learning something today. Let's go.
named after theologists and jurists, the men who interpreted Islamic texts. Now look at this map. The Hanbali school is the smallest and strictest of them all. Its primary source is the Quran. It is practiced in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. It also has significant followers in these countries. The Maliki school of Sharia relies mostly on independent understanding of the Quran. It is predominantly found in Africa.
Look at all these African countries that practice the Maliki school of Sharia. Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Sudan, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, Mauritania. Okay. I bet you won't take your asses to those countries to go test the theory of, you know, how much safer you'll be versus over here in America. Come on.
Nations, the whole of West Africa, along with Chad, the Sudan and Kuwait. The Shafi school of Sharia relies on consensus over understanding of the Quran, and this is where it's followed. East Africa and Southeast Asia, in countries like Somalia, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Lower Egypt, Djibouti, the Maldives, Indonesia, and small communities in Malaysia.
Okay.
Then we have the Hanafi school, the earliest, the most flexible version of the Sharia. It relies both on consensus and independent reasoning. The Hanafi school has the largest number of followers, approximately 1/3 of Muslims worldwide. They live in Turkey, Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. And then we have the Jafri school of thought, followed only by Shia Muslims. It is enshrined in the constitution of Iran. It also has a lot of followers in Iraq and small pockets of followers the world over.
Okay.
So we have 5 different versions of the Sharia. How are they different? Not in the fundamentals of faith, but in their practice. There are differences in how they pray, how they resolve legal matters, how they settle marital disputes, how they deliver punishment for certain crimes.
Oh, I'm here for the punishments. Let's continue. This is fascinating. Wait a minute. There's 100. Oh, hell no. We're not going to do this. There's 105 people watching, 42 likes. So either I want you hate watchers to disappear, right, to match the likes, or I need 75 likes. Just give me likes. That's it. Okay, 75 likes. Yeah, I'd rather have the likes high and the viewers low. I don't want people to hate watch me. For what? I don't want your energy. I don't want to live in your head like that, right? I can name a bunch of faceless trolls in people's chats, but they're not worth the energy. And they still watch me and try to leave comments, but they don't realize they're blocked. Let's 80 likes. I'm cool with 75. 75 will shut me up, but let's continue.
And this is understandable because no religion is uniform. But the problem begins when religion is mixed with governance. Many Muslims who embrace the Sharia thought of it as a substitute for the law of the land, and that's where the problem lies. The Sharia was just supposed to be a way of living.
Okay, basically in this pocket of the world, the women are not winning. Hoes are not winning. Hoes are getting their asses kicked. Hoes are getting beat up, caned, fingers and body parts severed. Okay, so in this pocket of the world, hoes are not winning. Everywhere else, winning. Let's continue.
It was not meant to be associated with political power. When European colonialism began to spread, the crown and the church came together. The church was used to further the interest of the rulers. The same thing happened in Muslim kingdoms. And while European nations later separated the church from the state, many Islamic countries did not. France, Britain, and other European powers had colonized much of West Asia, Africa, and Asia.
Okay, this is a sharp woman. Oh, let's look at all the British colonies, the French colonies, Africa. You know, what can we say about Africa at this point? I read somewhere that Nigeria was named after a white woman, or a white woman came up with the name Nigeria. Club Fortune, if you're in the chat, can you fact check me? Is that true? That a white woman named the country of Nigeria? That's crazy. Let's go.
When they left, leaders of the newly formed Muslim majority countries faced a dilemma. Should they govern based on previous Islamic values, or should they embrace laws inherited from colonial rule? Well, they chose the Sharia as the basis of their legal justice system. And this gave birth to all kinds of theocracies, hardline and moderate. Countries like Algeria, Libya, Egypt, the Sudan, Syria, Iraq, Oman, Yemen, Pakistan, they all...
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I'm learning something today.
had the Sharia. Even countries which were not colonized by the West adopted the Sharia. In 1932, Saudi Arabia was formed as a theocratic monarchy. 1979, Iran witnessed an Islamic revolution. Until then, Iran was a secular monarchy. After the revolution, the clerics took power. The country became an Islamic republic. Then in 1996, the Taliban seized power in Afghanistan. They made it a terror regime based on the Sharia. What makes this law acceptable in some countries and horrific in others?
Okay, come on.
It's understanding and implementation. Some countries enforce the most discriminatory and patriarchal aspects of the Sharia. They selectively picked certain verses from the Quran and legalized draconian practices like polygamy, triple talaq, genital mutation. They also enforced rules that had little or no basis in Islam. Research shows that most of these punishments were not sanctioned in the Quran. They were not practiced by the Prophet. Yet today, they've been made the highlights of the Sharia. They're being used to dictate daily lives of Muslims the world over. A lot of the followers do not understand this. They just stubbornly uphold ignorant and unjust practices.
And hence the problem with religion altogether, because every religious doctrine is guilty of this. Everybody's doctrine is guilty of this, hands down.
The biggest victims of this are Muslim women. Does God judge differently based on gender? For many clerics, it does, despite the fact that women worked and fought alongside the Prophet.
Right. Christians, your Bible blames Eve for the ills of humans today, right? So let's not point the finger at the Quran and be like, oh, slide them Arabs over there. No. Your King James Bible version blames the woman for all of the ills of society, right? She's the reason why you feel pain during child labor, why you menstruate every month. Really? Okay.
They won't tell you this. In some countries, women cannot step out without an abaya or a veil, but men can dress the way they want. Women cannot stand for president, but men can govern for a lifetime. Women cannot choose to have an abortion, but men are allowed to have 4 wives. Women cannot travel without a male guardian. Women cannot drive. Women cannot retain custody of their children after divorce. And they receive half of what is awarded to their brothers in inheritance. The list of restrictions on women in the name of God is appalling. And the Sharia's misuse does not end there. It is cited to justify what they call the conquest mindset, to wage wars in the name of Islam, especially by terror outfits who portray themselves as more faithful than other Muslims. They use religious scholars in their ranks to make finely crafted arguments, to use religion as a pretext to perpetrate violence. They exploit people who have little understanding.
As most people do. Look no further than the Spanish Inquisition, all at the behest of Christ, right? Come on, man. Billions died under the cross, for the cross. This is no different.
Standing of Islam. They recruit them as foot soldiers to fight their politically motivated wars. Some join them in the name of faith, some in the name of their land, some for a good paycheck, and some because they're just murderous. But this is not the Sharia. Let me tell you something else.
Okay.
A lot of damage has been done in the name of religion by people from all faiths. By people.
That's right. You had the Salem witch trials in Virginia, right? Because, the Bible told you witchcraft is a problem. They told you that astrology is a problem. Astronomy, right? If you God forbid you were born an indigo child and you could kind of see things and you're intuitive. You were declared a witch and they set you on fire. Okay? Here in America. But let's continue.
People from all cultures, that's true for the Sharia too. Yet it remains a way of life for 1.8 billion followers of Islam in more than 57 countries. Does that make it acceptable? Who decides? And in which form? Here's what I think. All things, including religion, must evolve with time. If some practices are outdated, they must end. Religious law may not have a place in modern nation states governed by a constitution. If the Sharia's interpretation and practice clashes with today's way of life and social structures, then perhaps it's time for revision and reflection rather than resentment.